in the possession
Or
of that
might
individual.
take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system. Because a lot of times, by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms. They saw everything. To go to court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
We have to say the lost word, no. There has to be a line in the sand where we say this far and no further. And let me tell you what my line in the sand is. When speech is curtailed or weaponry is begun to be removed or confiscated. Those are my lines in the sand. Because one makes my physical defense impossible, and one makes the communication of truth impossible. And we're seeing the first, and they're trying to get the second one done, but we're seeing the curtailing of free speech and censorship happening in this country that's supposed to be a land where free speech rights are protected. Because when the last word is not, the lost word is not accepted, and people will not back down when they're told, no, you may not come for my rights anymore. We have one recourse left, and I call that the last word. And let me tell you something, it's a loud, loud, loud word when it's spoken. It's going to be heard to the far ends of the solar system. And it's no joke and no game. You should look on YouTube at war footage and see what bullets do to the human body and what bombs do to the human body. You should psychologically watch it and understand it well, because it ain't like it's depicted in Hollywood movies, folks. At all. At all. And that's going to come, this is going to come to America if we are not careful in how we proceed. George Washington said, when any nation mistrusts its citizens with guns, it is sending a clear message. It no longer trusts its citizens because such a government has evil plans. Thomas Paine said, arms discourage and keep the invader and plunderer in awe and preserve order in the world as well as prosperity. Horrid mischief would ensue were the law-abiding deprived the use of firearms. The founding fathers of America explaining why it is necessary to have an AR-15 if the police and military have them. They knew and tried to tell us. See, this phrase is something I want to put out there more to help people to understand. Ultima ratio populi. It's Latin. It means the last reason of the people. Or as I like to refer to it, the last word. This is the final say and the final explaining of our rights to those who are oppressors and people who hold us in the condition of duress and slavery. And I do not want to see it have to come down to that, but if it does, just like the revolutionaries of America, I'll take that eventuality if I have to. Because as John F. Kennedy said, those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. And I would say self-defensive revolution will become inevitable, not violent. And they're trying to make the peaceful mode of resistance to tyranny and the education of the population impossible. And when that happens, and we can't say the lost word, we're going to break out the last word. And I do not want to see it have to come down to that. But if it does, just like the revolutionaries of America, I'll take that eventuality if I have to.